As a researcher and as a practitioner, I'm interested in power and sovereignty, specifically when it comes to communities that are less heard and less seen within the dominant narratives and spaces in which we live. I specifically focus on the African diaspora communities. As a child of the African diaspora, belonging for me is a justice issue. As I think about how we can create equitable spaces, spaces for renewal, spaces that can create place making, places that can enable the historically displaced to find a place of dwelling. The Evoking Belonging sanctuary space is one such practice which has shown us in the last few months during the COVID-19 lockdown confinement period. It has shown us how we can come together and renew, how we can come together in solidarity to examine questions around our contemporary experience in the African diaspora. Greetings, my name is Dianne Regisford. I am the founder and creator of Evoking Belonging, a social impact enterprise and also a social sculpture practice. In June this year, we launched the Unity series. We gathered a global community on Zoom. It was virtual, everyone was at home. And we did not know when we were planning it how the world would be exploring questions of racial justice. For me, belonging is a justice issue. We had our lives suddenly splashed across headlines, across TV screens, and when we gathered in the sanctuary, we found we were able to close in to go within. This practice enables us to work with the invisible materials. I use contemplative approaches such as meditation and breath work to take us within, for us to be able to explore in a non-threatening, non-challenging way, in a way in which we can get to spaces where the speed of the world generally does not allow us to go. Places deep within, our traumas, our collective grief, our points of connection came out as we shared the images. This is an imaginative practice. I call it imaginative voyaging. And as we voyage, as we're so used to doing in this physical 3D plane, but here we voyage imaginatively, we voyage intuitively, we sense into the world in which we want to inhabit, the world that we want to create, and also more specifically and more poignantly, what we will be doing in such a world. What is our contribution? The Evoking Belonging practice is one of connection, of communion, and of co-creation. This is how we live as African families. And when we find ourselves historically displaced, whether that is a generation ago or many generations ago, we are carrying a DNA of a people to whom spirituality and our everyday practices are one and the same thing. And this is what I seek to evoke in the Evoking Belonging Sanctuary. As we looked at the Unity series in June, we explored the black man, the black woman, black youth, and we all found ourselves at a time where our hearts were bleeding. We found a sense of safety and security. For me, the Evoking Belonging practice is regenerative in this way because it allows for a space of renewal. It enables a space of encounter. It enables us to evoke the principle and the philosophy that the Evoking Belonging practice is grounded in. And this is the African Bantu philosophy of Ubuntu. I interpret Ubuntu to mean without you, I do not exist. It's a way of looking at us as a whole being. It's a whole systems approach to ensuring that we retain and we nurture our cultural practices that keep us connected, that remind us that it is our humanity that connects us, that enables us to dwell in a space in communion and to be able to then co-create. That's another aspect of Ubuntu that I look at deeply in this practice. So this is, for me, an example of regenerative practice that works with the soul soil for those who are disconnected from their ancestral lands. For us to be able to stand in the truth of our being, it is important that we are able to tend to the inner space, the soul soil. This is Evoking Belonging.